How's it going, guys? I'm Matt Torx, and today on my journey to play every game ever released in the Fallout series and rank them on a tier list at the very end, our journey is nearing its end, as today we cover the second to last game in the series and one of my personal favorites, Fallout 4. The most successful Fallout game ever released, as when most casual people think of the name Fallout, this is likely the game they envision. With its modern shine, gunplay, and more glitches than ever before, and the results speak for themselves, as Fallout 4 has sold more copies than any game in the series. Even getting so popular, different things from the game were added to Fortnite pretty recently after the success of the TV show. And although some hardcore fans of the series don't like it, it is the most accessible in the series, being sold on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X consoles, as well as PC. But to me more specifically, Fallout 4 has a certain place in my heart, as most of my most popular videos on my channel cover different aspects of the game. And I've probably done more full playthroughs of it than most other games I play, as to me there's just something so therapeutic about starting up a fresh game after a bit of not playing, and getting to replay through all the moments I memorized. Doing new, restricted runs to experience the game in new ways. So today I'm going to take you on that journey this time around, as I play Fallout 4 in 2024. The intro narration of this game takes us through an all-too-familiar speech, told by the male protagonist of this game, Nate. But what makes this interesting is that this is the first narration in the series that doesn't mention the wiping out of the entire Earth by nuclear devastation. As we soon figure out, the opening of this game takes place before the dropping of the bombs, giving us a small glimpse of what life was like in the Fallout world pre-war. We open with our two possible protagonists standing in front of a fogged up mirror and getting ready for a big speech that Nate was just practicing during our opening narration. We then get a super in-depth character creation system that allows us to customize the appearances of either Nate, a war veteran who served in the Canada-US war a couple years prior, and Nora, a United States attorney. I chose to go with Nate as my character and customized his appearance to my liking. These two live in Sanctuary Hills, Massachusetts, with their infant son Sean, and Mr. Handy companion Codsworth. So as we talk to those around us and comfort our boy, a sudden knock at the door occurs. A representative of the Vault Tech company comes to tell us that me and my family qualify for admission into Vault 111, a nearby vault to hide from a possible nuclear future. By talking to him, we get to choose our name as well as our stats. I go with what's on screen, and in a cruel twist of either fate or bad writing, shortly after signing up for the Vault program, a disturbing news broadcast lets us know that nuclear weapons have started to be detonated across America, and that more are on their way. So my wife grabs Sean and the three of us sprint our way to the nearby vault entrance, dodging all the poor people in the neighborhood who are doomed to die, including the same salesman who we just talked to earlier. We make the trip down to an elevator just as the bomb detonates nearby, sealing us down into the ground below. When in the vault, we don our suits and make our way to a set of special cryopods to freeze ourselves until conditions above improve. So we step through the pod doors and see the cold embrace slowly overcome us. We wake up after an undisclosed time and see a set of strange individuals combing through the neighboring pods. They eventually find Nora's pod, kill her, and take my son, as the leader taunts me and I get re-frozen. I then get unfrozen once more and am able to finally leave my pod, thus concluding the longest and most boring intro in gaming. I mean, Jesus, I know I clowned on the Fallout 3 intro for its length, but at least in that one, you were doing stuff the whole time. Each time I replay through this game, this is always my least favorite part by far, as it never fucking changes. But coming back to the present time, I'm stuck in a vault with mutated roaches and nothing but a baton to my name. So I go swinging, obtain a pistol and a Pip-Boy, then see the light for the first time in 200 years. Now since I'm no spring chicken when it comes to this game, I waste no time running to the Red Rocket, grabbing the Best Boy dog meat and running to the Drumlin Diner nearby. By killing these two raiders here, we get access to Trudy the Merchant, as well as any resources the two raiders Simone or Wolfgang had on them. Then we run to the town of Concord and grab the free laser musket you get by the museum. No need to help the Minutemen because we have a mission to do. So I start my run towards the town of Diamond City, the great green jewel of the Commonwealth. On my way through, I stop by the local hardware store, sneak around the back to get the jump on some raiders, and finally make some green paint that will come in handy later. Running to the door of the city, and we see a lunatic shouting at the gate with anger, this woman being Diamond City journalist and Rule 34 favorite Piper, who got thrown out of the city when she wrote a bad report on the mayor of the town. She calls me over and lies to the guard in order to sneak us in. We pay her no regard once the gate opens and book it to the city. We trade some goods with the members of the town, and talk to this young man painting the walls. And, as you could probably guess, by talking to him we can give him the paint in exchange for some extra caps. Our final stop in this town is none other than Valentine's detective agency, in the hopes that he can help us track down our missing son. But it turns out the detective himself is missing, and it's up to us to do some detective work ourselves and go rescue him. But a mission like this is going to need some serious firepower, and I know just where to get it. By coming to Swan's Pond right near the actual mission objective, we can run into the legendary super mutant behemoth Swan, hiding as a mound of trash. And I'm sure, as most of you who watch my channel probably know, you can get a legendary power fist by killing him. So I feed my character a whole bunch of drugs and get to work blasting him to the ground. After he's dead and gone, I collect my furious power fist and run to the nearby subway station where Valentine is being housed. In this station sits the Triggermen, a gang of old-timey inspired mobsters run by the ironically named Skinny Malone. Now for most ordinary beings, running through an entire stronghold with nothing but some repurposed construction equipment seems like suicide. But since the sole survivor of Vault 111 is no ordinary man, we're able to punch everybody in the entire station and turn it into a blood-red massacre. At the very end, we find the door to another vault that's been occupied by more Triggermen. We free Valentine. He thanks us and tells us that Skinny Malone and his crew are more than likely waiting outside to ambush us. Well, it turns out that he hit that one right on the nail, since after finding some more goons, Skinny Malone and his new girl Darla, the one that Valentine was sent to retrieve, show up to stop our getaway. Although this situation can be partially de-escalated with words to make Darla leave, my charisma is that of the average Redditor, so I kill Skinny without even trying to talk, thus starting a firefight that I narrowly survive. As a trophy for my kill, I take Skinny Malone's outfit and wear it for the rest of the video. Now that me and Nick are partnered and free, we run back to the detective agency so that he can question me. After some talking, we agree that the man who kidnapped my son was Kellogg, a bald, scarred man who was renting a nearby house. Now normally the two of us go to the door of his house and try and lockpick it, before realizing neither can. But since I like to work smarter, I instead rush straight toward the mayor's office, follow him to a secluded room, and steal the key to the house right from under his nose. We then commit a little bit of breaking and entering, uncover a secret stash, and loot it completely. Next, the three of us, Nick, myself, and Dogmeat, use Dogmeat's nose to sniff out where Kellogg went. The path is long and treacherous, but eventually leads us to an army base on the other side of the map. We say goodbye to Dogmeat since Nick is the greatest companion in this game. Getting into the base, we run into some Institute synths, the Institute being an organization that operates from the shadows of the Commonwealth, controlling it from down below. Now I do die a bit here because this suit gives me 0 energy resistance, but it's nothing that a few perks and drugs can't fix. So me and Nick make it down to the lower floors. He disables a terminal that controls some turrets down the path, and I track down some keys that open up a nearby weapon armory, which contains a fat man with 1 mini-nuke, perfect for our next fight. Now when we get to Kellogg, once again we get the option to talk to the man before we fight. But sticking to my character, before even saying a word to the man, I pull up the fat man and take a well-placed shot into the center of the room. A blast like that is enough to kill most people, so I dig through his corpse and find a special brain chip. We then leave the base and get to see a nice light show from the Brotherhood in the sky. And since this is what I feel like is a nice midpoint in the game, this is where we're going to leave off for today's video. So when it comes to my thoughts on this game, I am of course going to be a little biased, since it is my second favorite in the series and my most played Fallout. Its story is far from the best in the series, being very linear and not that in-depth, since it is the second Bethesda Fallout that involves tracking a family member that left or got taken from your vault. And it has such limited dialogue options when it comes to role-playing, since the player has only 4 choices of dialogue that each fall into one of 4 emotions, and all give the same end result most of the time. And as a personal gripe, some of the weapons look really ugly for some reason, but overall I think the nice gunplay, open map, tons of content, and the accessibility it gives to the franchise still make it a blast to play, even if it doesn't have a Game of the Year level story. But what are your guys' thoughts on the game? If you want me to hear them, make sure to leave your opinions down in the comments below, and subscribe to the channel, since less than 1% of people who watch my videos actually subscribe. And with that note, I thank you guys for watching this far, and hope to see you in the next one. Peace.